Yeah, if I can go, I'll go. Yeah, I'm going to try to do everything I can to be ready.
Russell Wilson limited at practice all week, but doing everything he can to get ready for the Jets as the Broncos try to snap a 3-game losing streak. And we are getting you ready for a kickoff. Hello, thanks for joining us here in studio. I am Phil Milani alongside Sidney Jones and Eric Dalala. Guys, Russell Wilson battling with this hamstring injury. If he is able to play, Sidney, what can this Broncos team do to help him out a little bit?
Yeah, Phil, well, I think it starts with the offensive line. They need to do a better job at protecting him. He's been sacked, 4 times in each of the last 2 games. I really think it starts with them. And we heard from Coach Hackett and offensive coordinator Justin Allen this week, and they said they're really looking for continuity on the offensive line. There's been a ton of injuries, a lot of guys rotating in and out. So I think if they find that, things will look a little bit better there.
Yeah, he's been sacked 20 times this season. That's a lot through just 6 games here. Eric, how about his playmakers? Can he get the ball to some of these guys a little bit more? Cortland Sutton, just 2 catches the other night.
Yeah, man, I think the key is, one, you have to get the ball to these guys quickly, get it to them in space, allow them to run after the catch. I mean, that's kind of what this offense is supposed to look like. But then these guys also have to take advantage of opportunities when they come. I think too many times we've seen Russell not be on the same page with his receivers. We've seen drops. When he extends the play, you've got to be able to work back to him, give him a chance to complete a throw. And there was a great throw in the first quarter where Jerry Jeudy cut his route off and came back to Russell. It was one of the biggest plays in the game. And then later you see a couple other opportunities and they're not able to make those. So it falls on everybody. It's not just on the play calling. It's not just on Russ. It's not just on the receiving core, not just on the O-line. Everybody's got to do a little bit better, and hopefully that leads to more success.
You mentioned that it was working early and then later not so much. Sidney, I know that consistency has been the big word around here this week.
Yeah, it's something we've heard from Coach Hackett all week. This offense just needs to be more consistent. Like Eric mentioned early on, they looked good in the first quarter versus the Chargers. I mean, Russell, he completed his first 10 passes, threw for 116 yards, a touchdown. We saw him spread the ball a lot. I mean, he found 9 different receivers. They had 5 first downs. They look good. We've seen flashes of how good they can be. It's just a matter of them being more consistent and continuing that throughout the rest of the game.
They seem like 2 different teams, first half and second half.
Yeah.
Wilson, his first half rating, 100.9. His second half rating this season, 65.9. What's the deal, Eric?
Well, I think that the third quarter is what's really hurting the Broncos. Only a field goal on offense this season. Only 5 total points if you count the safety against the 49ers. They found a little bit of success later when they have to in the fourth quarter, whether it's against the Texans or the 49ers, the Raiders, but they have to find a better way to come out after halftime and get points, because the one thing they have, whether it's luck or choice, they've gotten the ball a lot to start the second half. I mean, just think about this past week. You're up 13-10, you get the ball back. If you can go down there and score, it's a different ball game. And so they've got to be able to find success in the third quarter, stay on the field so that the defense doesn't get worn out. And if they can do that, they're going to be in a position to win more football games.
This Broncos team has lost 3 consecutive games. They're sitting at 2-4. It's understandable that there's some frustrations mounting in that locker room, but Russell Wilson says that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Playing with an edge, playing with that intensity, playing with that type of energy and focus and passion, but yet still being calm in the midst of the moments is an amazing characteristic that I think champions and championship teams have. And every championship team I've ever been on, every team I've ever been around, they got a little edge, and it's good to have edge. I think that a lot of times, when people on TV, they see people get, a little bit edgy, they get worried. Oh no, that's a good thing. You look for that. I've never seen a quiet championship team.
One of those guys with a little bit of edge last week was Melvin Gordon. The Monday Night Football cameras kept catching him on the sideline. Frustrated that he wasn't in the game. But now Nathaniel Hackett, after hashing it out with him, says that Melvin Gordon is the starter.
Yeah, Phil, I was a little bit surprised by that, solely because Melvin only had 3 carries on Monday night versus the Chargers. Like you said, we saw him visibly frustrated on Monday night on the sidelines. But I think this is going to be his chance to go out there and prove himself. We know how good of a running back Melvin can be, and, he runs the ball really hard. So I think Sunday was a really good opportunity for him. And, we saw Latavius Murray take most of the carries on Monday night versus Chargers, and he looked good too. So I think Coach Hackett will use all 3 running backs, Mike Boone included in that, to really try and get this run game going.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon has been good in his career.
Yeah.
If he can hold on to the football, he's a talented running back. But Eric, it seems like even if Melvin is a starter, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's getting the bulk of the carries.
Yeah, I mean, he started last week too, which is what he said in the locker room, that only got 3 carries. And I think the Broncos are going to continue to go with the hot hand. That's what they need to do. They need to win this football game. They need to get the run game going. If they're going to find success, set up play action, set up other passes down the field, they have to be better in the running game. And that means, it doesn't matter what the carry share looks like. You've got to put the ball in the hands of the guy that can do the most with it. And you've got to give Latavius, if he's that guy, the chance. And listen, they're trying some kind of different things here with the run game. More inside zone, not going to have as many big plays, but you take away some of the negative plays. And Latavius is such a big back that he falls forward a little bit. I think that gives you, a good option there in the run game.
Yeah, they need to get this running game going. Regardless of who's in at quarterback, the running game is a big part of this offense. Just hasn't quite been there this year so far for the Broncos. Here's Melvin Gordon talking about why he was so frustrated on Monday night.
Half of it not playing, other half us not, hitting on the cylinders that we were supposed to hit on. 3rd and outs. We was just making mistakes that we weren't supposed to make. So that was kind of making me mad too. And then obviously me not being in, I'm like, that just added salt to the wound.
Now let's talk about the other side of the ball a little bit here, because the bright spot for this Broncos team through 6 weeks has been the defensive side of the ball. And certainly Baron Browning, he's one of these second-year players who's really emerging into a star.
He is, Phil, and he's been so fun to watch, too. I mean, just on Monday night, he had 2 tackles for loss, a sack, 2 pass breakups, his first career interception, a fumble recovery. He just, first off, he looks
his own fumble.
His own fumble, right. That's true. That was a funny play. He just, first off, looks like he's having so much fun out there, which is so great to see. And I know the past couple games, he's really had such a big impact on this pass rush. And a lot of people on social media are saying he looks like a young Von Miller. So really high praise there for him. And yeah, I mean, he's been phenomenal the past couple games.
And Browning said that he looked up to Von Miller growing up in Texas. So that's a cool little Broncos connection for him there. Browning, not the only one who's playing sensational on the defensive side. How about Pat Surtain, Eric? Didn't see too much of Mike Williams the other night.
No, I mean, 100-yard games in 3 of his last 4 games for Mike Williams, and then goes out there and Pat Surtain just shuts him down. What Pat Surtain is doing right now is just erasing the top receiver each week. The key here, though, I think you have to make Zach Wilson throw the football. You have to be able to put them in 3rd and longs and challenge a young quarterback to go at Pat Surtain if he has to.
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously been running the ball very well. Breece Hall has 609 yards from scrimmage this year. He leads all rookies with that number there. So, and here's Broncos defensive coordinator Gerald Evero talking about how there's some similarities here with this coaching tree between the Broncos and Jets.
Yeah, no, it's very similar to what you see from, San Fran, from Green Bay, from our offense, and a lot of similar concepts. At the end of the day, all these teams want to run the ball, and they have a variety of creative schemes to get it done, and so we got to be ready for the run game.
Time to wrap up now with our predictions. Sydney, let's start with you.
Phil, I'm going to have the same score prediction as last week. I'm going to go 19-17 Broncos. I feel like they know it's a must-win game. It was a must-win game last week, but now it's needed more than ever. So I think they will get the win at home before they head to London next week, and I'm going to say 19-17.
You were pretty close last week.
I was,
just the other way around. Yeah. Eric, how about you?
I'll say 16 for the Broncos. That seems to be a nice little trend here. And I'll go 14 for the Jets. I think this is going to be another kind of grinded out battle of the game. It's not going to look pretty. If you're looking for that offensive explosion from the Broncos, I don't think it's coming this week, especially with Russell Wilson banged up, whether he does or doesn't play. I don't think it's going to be easy sledding against a really good Jets front 4, but I do think, like Sydney mentioned, you have to get this game. You have to find a way to somehow get to 4-4 before the bye week, and I think the Broncos take a step in the right direction.
That would be good to see. I'm going to say 16 points for the Broncos too, but I'm going to say 20 for the Jets.
Wow. Phil.
Maybe I'm bad luck. Maybe I've been jinxing the Broncos this year, so we'll see. I'll go the other way around. Just because, guys, they've been talking about, hey, we got to do this, but each game has seemed to take on a similar theme. So until I see it, I just can't believe it. So we'll see. Maybe I'm bad luck, so this will be a good thing for the Broncos. That is going to do it for us. For Eric Kalala and Sidney Jones, I am Phil Maloney. This has been Ready for Kickoff.